Right, so we've had a lot of questions in regards to our signal service, how people can follow our trades. And what we wanted to do is just run through a slight tutorial on how to set up the broker, how you can follow our trades, and a little bit in terms of using the platform as well. So as you guys already know, we're creating a course, and alongside that we are going to be offering a signal service. Now the reason why we're offering a signal service is one, so that those that don't have too much knowledge in terms of trading, perhaps those that don't have too much time on their hands to be learning a new skill at the moment, it will allow them to actually earn and profit from the trades that we make. Now, also, it's quite a good way to get started in terms of being able to make money whilst you're learning. So we just wanted to run through just the broker that we use, why we use this broker, and how we actually open an account with our broker. And then obviously we'll flick into the actual trading screen, the MT4 app, and actually just teach you how to actually put these trades on when we send them through, whether that's through Telegram or whether that's through our Instagram stories. Okay, so we'll just start at the Trading Field Instagram page. So we've made it nice and easy for you guys to be able to access our broker via the highlights that we've got on here. So this one on the left hand side, our broker. If we select this, it's going to give you the step-by-step options and the link to swipe up to ensure that you actually can set up an account with the broker that we use. Now, there's a couple of reasons why we use the same broker and why we want you guys to be on board with this broker as well. First of all, it's to do with the bonuses that are offered. Okay, there are some offers for new members that join via our link. On top of that as well, it's to do with trading platforms, and it's also to do with the spreads as well, so the commissions. We have used multiple different brokers in the past, and these are one of our favorite brokers. The platform reliability is fantastic, and also the spreads and therefore commissions are lower compared to others. So it's also important in terms of the broker that you use, because the price of a certain market may be slightly different on different brokers. Now, what I mean by that, let's say oil is currently sitting at around $82, and we had a long position in, and let's say that long position we were taking our profit, at $82.50. Some brokers might not have exactly that same price. So if we had this position on and we took that profit at $82.50, there might be one broker which actually the price only reached $82.48. And even though it's a very, very slight difference, it could mean missing out in terms of profits. And obviously we want us to all be on the same page and all be making the same amount of money. So if we skip through this section, okay, when you jump through to the swipe up pages, okay, what you'll then see is how to open an account. So very, very simple, green button, open an account, okay. You then will step to the first page. I'll run through this actually just in a bit more detail on the swipe up, just so that you guys understand. And when you get to this page, just swipe up, and what you'll see is the actual broker page that we use, which is XM, okay. So all you need to do, very simply, just click on open an account. Okay, estimated time to complete the registration, 2 minutes, doesn't take too long at all. Okay, and all you need to do is just start filling in these details, basic details, first name, last name, where you're from, your number, your email address, and most importantly, this bit down here. So trading platform type, you can choose MT4. Okay, it doesn't matter too much, but again, we prefer everyone to be on the same platform, so it's very easy when we're sending our updates and we're sending our trades. And then secondly, the account type. Okay, so account type, it will give you 3 options. Now, ignore the bottom one. Okay, all we're worried about is micro lots and standard lots. Okay, so with micro lots, if you're planning on depositing into your account less than $500, I would choose your micro lots. Okay, and I'll explain a bit more about these lots later on. If you're planning to deposit more than $500 into the account, you can choose the standard lot size. Okay, and we'll run through actually what this means later. All you then need to do, just proceed to step 2. I won't do that because I haven't filled in the other details. Proceed to step 2, just answer a few more of the questions, and then what it's going to do is it's actually going to tell you a bit more. It's going to ask you a few questions, sorry, in terms of your knowledge and your experience. Now, most people listening to this and watching this on our Instagram and YouTube, is you will already be aware and have basic knowledge in terms of the markets that we trade, okay, in terms of the platforms that we use. And just a basic understanding of actual trading in terms of buying, selling, and perhaps even leverage. So when you proceed to step 2, as I mentioned, there'll be a few questions in terms of your knowledge and experience. Now, just bear in mind that the more knowledge and experience that you have will enable you a few extra benefits with the broker. Now, that will be in terms of leverage. They will allow you to leverage a little bit higher, meaning that if you had $500 in your account with a leverage of 10 to 1, you're actually trading as if you have $5,000 in your account. Now, obviously, what that means is that your returns could potentially be higher, but obviously that means that in terms of risk, the higher returns that you're going to be receiving comes with slightly more risk. So once you've completed these steps, you've filled in all of the details, you will then be registered on the trading platform. Now, they will ask for some verification, okay? So they will ask for a copy of some ID, as well as documents in terms of your proof of residence as well. Once you have provided this information to the broker, your account will then be activated. Okay, and once your account is activated, you'll be able to trade and use obviously the signals and things that we provide you via the trading field. So again, please just follow the link that's provided on our Instagram page. We will also put the link just in the description of this YouTube video for you guys to follow as well. Very, very important to use that link because, as I mentioned before, in terms of bonuses, there is, I think, a 20% bonus on there currently for those depositing new funds into their account. The spreads and the commissions are more favorable than other brokers that we've used in the past. And then finally, as well, as a trader, when you build and generate profits on a specific broker or market, what you end up finding is that the brokers will you'll be assigned an account manager basically, and when you're assigned an account manager, they'll be taking you out to events, they'll be taking you out to dinner. So very important, just to make sure that you go through the links that we've given you to sign up with our broker. And once that's all done and you've opened your account, you'll be ready to trade. So I'm just going to now step into the actual platform that we use. This is MT4, and I'm just going to show you how you actually put the trades on once you receive the signals and the messages from us here at Trading Field.
Right, so this is the MT4 platform. Okay, you can download it as an application on your iPhones, on your Androids. Very, very simple and easy to use, and I will always send our screenshots with the actual trading page as well, so you know exactly what to fill out in terms of stop losses, take profits, and the markets that we're actually trading. So first of all, what you'll have here on this quotes page is actually the markets. Okay, so these are the markets that we're able to trade. Now, if you have a micro account, you will see that some of these will say micro at the end. You might actually find us trading a market and you come onto this section and you can't actually see the market that we're trading. That's absolutely fine. It's just a case that the application needs to be set up accordingly. So if you just press this little plus button on the top right hand side, anything that you can't see, you can actually search for these signals. So for example, if we just type in GBP, it will show you the ones we haven't actually got on our watch list. Okay, so if we were looking at doing a trade, say on the GBP and the Singapore dollar, if we just press that little plus button next to that and hit cancel and go back to that watch list, this quotes page, we'll see at the very bottom we've got now that GBP SGD currency. Okay, and we can therefore trade it. You can of course just click on this and it will bring up the chart. Okay, so you can see the direction the market's moving. Okay, these charts are quite flexible as well. This button here, the top left, is just the time frames at each candle. So if we want H1, that means hourly candles, 1 hour. If we hit on that, we're then going to see that market in a 1 hour candle. So each of these green and red bars indicate to us 1 hour's worth of data, 1 hour's worth of buys and sells. So As I said, we don't want to analyze markets on the application at all, especially not this application. If anything, we're going to be looking at the TradingView application or the TradingView website. But we can obviously make our trades on here, and that's what this platform is for. So if we press on this, we have three options. The details we can ignore, the chart we can ignore most of the time, unless you want to have just a quick look to see the direction it's moving. Otherwise, we have the trading screen. Okay, and if we just hit that trading screen, what we'll see is the exact screen that I will always screenshot when I'm actually placing a trade and offering a signal. So very, very simple. This here is our lot size, okay, and I'm going to run through that next, so I won't go into too much detail on that right now. I'll just run through the calculator in terms of how we calculate the risk when we're actually choosing the lot size for a specific market. So this is how you choose it. Okay, you can simply just type it in if you know exactly how much you want to be trading on this market, or again, you've got these buttons here just to add and decrease certain amounts of the lot size. You then have your stop loss. Okay, we always will give you the stop losses. We will always give you our take profits. You simply just type this in here, and just bear in mind, if you're going long of a market and therefore you're buying a market, okay, your stop loss is going to have to be below the current price. And if you are shorting a market and therefore selling a market, your stop loss will be above the current price. Okay, so for example, if we were going to buy this market here, I would literally say, right, okay, the stop is going to be at 1.78, which is currently 100 pips away from where we are. Okay, again, exactly the same with the take profit. We might say to ourselves, well, we're at 1.7898 currently. I expect this market to get to 1.795, and I will put those details in. Now, once you've done that, very, very simple, all complete. All you need to do next is literally press buy or sell. Now, just be careful in terms of choosing the direction, because once you press this button, the market will the trade will be placed, and therefore you'll be in that market, so you don't want to get it wrong. So just be careful when you're making this this final selection and decision. And then all you need to do is literally just press the buy or the sell of the market. Okay, and that's complete. Trade is now placed. Okay, when the trade is placed, the trade will be shown in this one here, which is our trade screen. This basically is just showing what positions we currently have open, okay, and obviously their respective profit or loss. So as you can see at the moment, we've got 4 trades open. GBP Aussie dollar doing very well, $616 up. NZD USD, that is minus 258 or so at the moment, and USD CAD as well, so far $120 up. Now these were placed yesterday as part of our signal service. Okay, on this screen, obviously, you can actually just review where you are and obviously how your positions are doing. So at the very top, you're going to have that running profit and loss. So obviously, you can see at the moment that ours is currently $450 up, and that's based on the trades that were placed yesterday. You then have obviously this section just below, which is your balance. Okay, underneath that, you have your equity. Now, the difference between equity and balance is equity is going to take into consideration the current running profit and loss. Okay, so that will be 15,650 plus the 460 that we're currently at, and as you can see, it will keep moving along with actually the market and the positions you're currently in. Sorry. You then below that will have the margin. We'll talk a little bit about the margin just after this section, but this basically is how much is being held to actually hold those positions that you've currently got on. Okay, and then the free margin below is just what's remaining of your balance when you take away the margin that's already been used to take on these positions. So the other thing I just want to go through is sometimes what we'll end up doing is saying, right, we need to modify the trade. We want to move our stops into a profitable position or a break-even position. And other times we might say, well, actually, look, we're already very, very close to our target. I think what we should do is take profits on this trade. So what you can do, if you actually select the market itself, okay, and just hold that down, you will then see the options whether or not to close the trade or to modify the trade. Just press on close trade, and it will show there that all you have to do, just press that orange button, close with profit, and that will completely close the trade, so you won't be in that market anymore. Okay, so nice and simple. Obviously, if you're in profit, it will say here close with profit. If you're in loss, it will say close with loss. Okay. The other thing is in regards to actually modifying the trades and modifying the stop loss, modifying the take profit. Normally we won't modify the take profit. We're usually quite happy with where we our original decision. But we might, obviously, if the market does move in our favor, say at least 50% of where we expect it to go, we might say, right, let's move the stops up, protect our positions, take off all the risk off the table. And what you can do is just simply type that in here. Okay, so exactly the same as actually placing that trade in the first place. So you can actually change those stop losses. So if I wanted to, I could obviously change this stop loss to say 1.8350. And that will mean that moving forward, that stop is now in a profitable position, providing that is above the point where we entered. Okay, so past break even. And then that also means there's absolutely no risk on the trade. Okay, so very simple, just modifying. Okay, modifying the trade itself, or vice versa, just closing the trade. Okay, so that's how we modify them. That's how we place our trades. The only other thing I want to show you on this application is just the history. Okay, so if you jump into history, you have the option of looking at your history over the past 24 hours, your history over the past week, okay, and your history over the past month as well. You can also choose custom. So this just shows you what trades you've closed and which ones were profits, which ones were losses. As you can see from the very beginning, for us, we deposited $10,000 into this account. That was back on the 3rd of October. And now as we're coming up to where are we now? I think we're on the 23rd of October today. We are currently sitting at around $5,650 profit, which is about 56% or so. So here you can just review those trades that you've done. If you ever think to yourself that you wanted to do some journaling and have a look at why perhaps you placed those trades, you can quite simply just look through the history on here. Okay, so that completes the application side. The only other thing I want to cover is the risk side of things when it comes to the lot sizes, because we're getting a lot of questions from our followers and our members in terms of what lot sizes they should be using on their account. So I will run through that next. So handily, there is a calculator from our broker, which is XM, as you now all know. So if you just pop into Google and just go type in the XM calculator, okay, and the very top one, XM all-in-one calculator, is what's going to be able to help us calculate how much risk we're taking per trade. Now you have to fill in a few of these boxes. Okay, so we start obviously with our base currency, so just choose your base currency here. I'm going to just do exactly what my account is at the minute, and then obviously just adapt yours accordingly. So if, for example, we are shorting a market such as USD CAD, okay, you can type in USD CAD here, select the market that we're trading, select the leverage that you've got on your account currently. Okay, I'm currently 500 to 1, and then select the lot sizes that you're using as well. So I'm currently on standard lots. And if we just type in here, number 1, the volume in lots, and we press calculate, what it's going to do is it's going to actually tell us how much margin is required, how much per pip it works out. The rest of it is not too important for us right now in terms of the swaps, especially on a small account. It's irrelevant for our trading. So as we can see, if I was to do one lot, okay, so one lot on this market with my leverage of 500 to 1 and a standard lot size, it means that I'm going to need $200 margin. Now what that means is if you've got an account and you have $1,000 in that account, to open that position you need to have $200 in there minimum. Okay, and what they'll do is they'll hold that $200. Okay, so if you were then to make another trade, it will show you that you have an available of say $800. Okay, so it will always hold a certain margin when you open a position, and this is how we can find out exactly what that margin will be. Now the second thing that's important to be aware of is actually the pip value, and this is how we can calculate our risk. Okay, so on this one the pip value is $7.64 per pip. Okay, so what that means is every single pip of movement it is $7.64. So if we go minus 10 pips, we're going to be minus $76.40. If we go plus 10 pips, we're going to be $76.40 in profit. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Now, if we take into the account the trade that I've just done, so if some of you can see my story, you'll see we've just taken a trade short of USD CAD. Okay, and what we've got on here is we've got a stop loss at 1.314. Okay, and we have a take profit at 1.30. So the market is currently at 1.309. So that means 1.309 from 1.314 is 50 pips away. So it means we've got a risk of 50 pips. So in this case, we have got a risk of around $380 on this trade because we're risking 50 pips. Okay, 50 times 7.64 will be about 380. So this is how we'll work it out moving forward. So if, for example, you have a leverage of say 50 to 1, okay, and you're currently on micro lots, if you were again to do one lot, okay, just one lot, the value per pip is 0.08 cents per pip. Okay, so this just is going to give you that idea of how much risk you're taking. So just when we send you our signals and we post on Instagram, we post on Telegram, just take into account how many pips it is to the stop loss. Okay, so in the example I just showed you, it was about 50 pips. Then you would do 50 times your pip value, and that will give you your risk on this trade. So if we were completely wrong on this trade and it went straight to our stop loss, we would be losing 50 times 0.08, okay, US dollars on this account. So on a basic calculator, what you can then do is actually figure out how many lots you'll be trading to ensure that you're not risking too much. So in terms of how much you should be risking, what we normally say to our students will be the fact that not to risk more than 5% of your account value per trade. So if you have $1,000 in the account, you shouldn't be risking more than say $50. Okay, so then just take that into consideration along with the stop. USD CAD, our stop is around 50 pips. So if it's 50 pips and we're happy to risk $50, it means we need to be achieving around $1 per pip, which then means we can actually play around with this volume here and we can try to get to $1 per pip. Okay, so this will probably be about maybe 12 lots, I think, something like that, 12, 13 lots. So if we put in the 14 lots there, you'll see as this calculates here, perfect. So pip value is now 1.07 US dollars, which is just about right, a little bit over, so maybe do 13 lots. So if you're doing micro lots, this is how you're going to calculate it. Vice versa, if you're doing standard lots, just change that, okay, and it will tell you how much you're risking. And again, it will also tell you your margin, okay, that you're using to make sure you actually have enough in the account to make the trade. So some people have come to us before saying, look, I've tried to make this trade, but it's saying that I don't have enough money in the account. This is the reason why, okay, this is the reason why here, because of the margin. So just use this calculator in conjunction with the trade setups that we actually provide, and with that you can then work out and make sure you're not too overexposed to certain trades. It's just about understanding the fact that your account value will fluctuate as well, okay? We will get trades wrong and you will also get trades wrong, but you have to think about the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is, for example, in our case, we've been doing this for a very, very long time, and the key of trading is actually learning from your mistakes. So over the past 3 weeks or so, since the 3rd of October, as I showed you, we deposited $10,000 into our account, and 3 weeks later we're sitting on around 55% gain. So we've traded probably about 35 times. I think we had 35 separate trades during that period, of which we're getting around 82% correct. So we're never going to get 100% correct. Sometimes the market doesn't do what we believe it will do, but it's just all about ensuring that you're not overexposed to just one trade, let's say, and to ensure that actually you're making sure that the risk within those within your portfolio and within the trades that you're taking is managed as well. So just make sure that you do a specific amount of risk per trade. So that, as we mentioned earlier, should be looking at something like no more than about 5% of your account value. And that way, you know, even when we do get trades wrong, the winners will actually counteract those losers as well.